Hi everyone, my name is Cameron. Today for my presentation, I would like to talk to you about something that I am extremely passionate about, and that is the company that I work for, Nike. Recently, they relaunched an ad centered around their Just Do It campaign. This campaign is 30 years old, so this is not something that's new, but it has created a lot of stir and controversy with the national media. Why is that? Why does the media care what a company is trying to do to promote their brand? This gentleman is at the center of the controversy. Do you all know who he is? Do you know what his background is? Do you know why they selected him as the face of this campaign? This is Colin Kaepernick, who is an NFL quarterback and went to school at the University of Nevada. He aspired to become an athlete, and because of his political stance, has not been able to continue and pursue that dream, and his life has been affected because of that. I want to introduce the company stance and why they choose these athletes to promote their business. Do you all know who these athletes are, and what do they have in common? We have Steve Prefontaine, there's Tiger Woods, in the center, Michael Jordan. We have Colin Kaepernick, of course, John McEnroe, and Hope Solo. So what do they have in common? Yes, they're athletes. They're role models to to somebody. They're inspiring individuals to help us become better at the sport that we want to become good at. They're very courageous for going out and spending the time, the hours, the energy to become these people. But all of these athletes at one point or another in their career has been centered around controversy. This is not something that is new to Nike. As a company, whenever Nike decides to make a bold statement, they center that campaign around movements. According to Webster, what is a movement? It is the act or process of moving, as one definition states. The second definition of note is the one I would like to pay attention to. A movement is a series of organized activities working towards an objective. This is what Nike does when they're trying to promote something. As you can see in this slide, equality was the movement in this, right? Our country is at an all-time high with controversy and conflict, and Nike as a company is trying to identify that everybody is of equal status. So today I want to talk about 3 points of Nike's marketing and why Just Do It is about goals and not political correctness. The first point I want to talk about is Nike has a history of being bold and centered in controversy. These two gentlemen were the founders of Nike. We have Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman. 1962, Phil Knight had a dream and a vision to put this company together to import athletic footwear to the United States and sell it to track stars around the country. Bill Bowerman was his track coach at the University of Oregon, and together they started a company called Blue Ribbon Sports. They imported this footwear from the country of Japan, and for the next 6 years struggled to find ways to finance the company, to distribute it with the local laws and regulations, and ultimately be competitive in the North American market. In 1968, right before the Mexican Olympics, Onitsuka, the Japanese brand, informed Blue Ribbon Sports that they would no longer be the sole provider of their track footwear in the United States. What Nike did next? They went to their manufacturers in Mexico, they created a shoe called the Cortez, and they put it out for the whole world to see during those Olympics. Now the name Cortez is not just a name. If you look at Mexican history, there are nicknames associated with Cortez the Killer. That's exactly what Nike wanted to be. They wanted to kill the brands of Adidas, Puma, Reebok, all those companies back in the day. They also endorsed an athlete in the late 80s by the name of Michael Jordan. I think all of you might know who he is. And at the 1988 dunk competition, Jordan walked out on the court in a pair of black and red high-top sneakers. And at the time, the NBA did not allow colorful shoes. They strictly allowed white shoes, black shoes, and that was it. So when Jordan stepped on the court in these, the NBA was furious. They fined the company, they fined Jordan, but he didn't care. And these shoes now are one of the most coveted sneakers in the whole world, called the Banned Ones. The second point I want to talk to you about today is Nike is a brand that is centered around its athletes, and they don't care about political correctness. These are all athletes that at one point or another have represented the brand. The top image of the gentleman kneeling down in his University of Oregon track gear is a man by the name of Justin Gallegos. He is an athlete with cerebral palsy, and recently Nike sent a representative to him during a practice to present him with a contract to become the first athlete that is sponsored by the company with cerebral palsy. Nike isn't just centered on the athletes that can compete at the highest level. They care about all athletes, and they have a mantra: if you have a body, you are an athlete. And that's what I want this focus to be on. We talked about movements a little bit earlier, and Nike's way of promoting through movements. We've seen the equality movement. There's the N7 movement. There's the Forces Female movement. All of these are helped to bring attention to those morals, those values that the company values and wants to bring more attention to throughout the world. Let me make one more point. These movements are not simply to make money. They're simply to bring recognition to an idea and bring support in something that the company, as well as a lot of its followers, feel is right. Again, it's not about political correctness, it's about making the world a better place. The last point I want to talk to you about today is Nike is centered around goals, and that is the culture they have created. With this recent campaign, with Colin Kaepernick at the forefront, a lot of people have decided to focus on some of the negative things that he's done, but have yet to look at what the company is trying to say. And so today I want to show you just a short little clip on what that ad is and what it is centered around.
If people say your dreams are crazy, if they laugh at what you think you can do, good. Stay that way. Because what non-believers fail to understand is that calling a dream crazy is not an insult. It's a compliment. Don't try to be the fastest runner in your school or the fastest in the world. Be the fastest ever. Don't picture yourself wearing OBJ's jersey. Picture OBJ wearing yours. Don't settle for homecoming queen or linebacker. Do both. Lose 120 pounds and become an Ironman after beating a brain tumor. Don't believe you have to be like anybody to be somebody. If you're born a refugee, don't let it stop you from playing soccer for the national team at age 16. Don't become the best basketball player on the planet. Be bigger than basketball. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. When they talk about the greatest team in the history of the sport, Make sure it's your team. If you have only one hand, don't just watch football. Play at the highest level. And if you're a girl from Compton, don't just become a tennis player. Become the greatest athlete ever. Yeah, that's more like it. So don't ask if your dreams are crazy. Ask if they're crazy enough.
As you can see through this video, it evokes a lot of emotion, right? This video isn't about kneeling for the national anthem. This video isn't about violence in local communities. This video is about standing up for what you believe in, setting goals, and doing everything in your power to achieve them. So in closing today, I would just like to ask you a question. What are your dreams? Do you have a plan to achieve them? If not, take the time to create those dreams, create your vision. Don't ask yourself if your dreams are crazy. Ask if they're crazy enough. This is what Just Do It is all about. It's not about the political side, it's about you as a person.